Bachelorette star going under the knife for life-changing surgery, September 22, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News. Fans. A fan-favorite Bachelorette star opened up about an upcoming life-changing surgery. Katie Thurston was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer earlier this year. She was initially told the cancer was stage 3, but the diagnosis changed to stage 4 after the cancer spread to her liver. The next big step in her cancer journey is a surgery that could change her life completely. Keep reading for all the details. Katie Thurston worries about running out of cancer treatment options. Katie Thurston's cancer treatment is a trial by fire. She has tried several different medications over the last 7 months. When one doesn't work or causes horrible side effects, she changes medication or dosage. In her latest Instagram update, the former Bachelorette star opened up about how reducing one medication from 3 pills a day to just 2 helped stop some of the complications she was suffering from over-medicating. Since the moment she was diagnosed, Katie Thurston has shared the nitty-gritty details about battling breast cancer. Whether it's good or bad, she puts it all out there for other survivors or people battling cancer. She has been very clear that regardless of what the test results show, she'll be on medication for the rest of her life. She admitted in her update that it can be scary to think about. Katie wondered what might happen someday if the medication stops working for her. But right now, the medication is working. She revealed that a recent scan of her liver showed no signs of cancer. She said she hoped, prayed, and predicted that her upcoming scan would reveal that she's disease-free. She was clear that if the scans go the way she thinks, she will still be on medication and plans to have a life-changing surgery in November. Bachelorette star reveals plans for life-changing surgery. Like many other breast cancer patients, Katie Thurston had tough choices ahead of her when she was diagnosed. In many cases, the treatment isn't enough. Many women have one or both breasts removed to hopefully stop the cancer from spreading. Katie Thurston has made the decision to get a double mastectomy. She shared on Instagram that if her next scans are good, she will go under the knife in November to remove her breasts. She is still considering whether she should get her ovaries removed as well. The Bachelorette star froze her egg shortly after her diagnosis in February. She hopes to have children someday with her husband, Jeff Arcuri. After several failed reality TV relationships, she married the comedian in March after about a year of dating. He proposed to her while in Hawaii on vacation last summer. In her Instagram video, Katie Thurston noted that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. She promised her followers that she would share even more about her cancer diagnosis and treatment next month. Katie Thurston will likely share more details about her upcoming life-changing surgery as November draws closer.
Thrives on roses, champagne toasts, and surprise twists. But no one could have predicted the latest headline from the world of The Bachelorette. One of the franchise's most beloved stars has revealed that she will be going under the knife. Not for cosmetic reasons, not for a fleeting Hollywood whim, but for a life-changing surgery that could alter the very course of her future. Fans were left gasping when she went public, her voice trembling but determined. Social media exploded. Fellow Bachelor Nation alums flooded her comments with support, and suddenly, this wasn't just about dating, drama, or heartbreak. It was about survival, strength, and second chances. The woman behind the rose. She was introduced to America in glittering gowns, nervous limo rides, and confessional interviews where millions of viewers dissected every smile, every glance, every whispered word. She quickly became a fan favorite, known for her warmth, her raw honesty, and the way she carried herself with poise, even when the cameras captured her heartbreak. But behind the spotlight, she was grappling with something no one knew. From sleepless nights to quiet doctor visits, from internal battles she masked with TV-ready smiles, to the moments she almost backed out of filming entirely, her journey was never just about love. It was about holding herself together while her body was quietly demanding attention. The diagnosis that changed everything. For months after her season aired, she kept her struggles private, but then came the diagnosis. It wasn't just a routine checkup gone wrong. It was the kind of moment where the doctor pauses, takes a breath, and suddenly the air in the room changes forever. The words hit like shards of glass. This won't go away on its own. You're young, but this is serious. We need to act before it gets worse. The decision was clear, though heartbreaking. Surgery wasn't optional, it was the only way forward. She could have stayed silent, many in her position might have, but instead she chose to share her truth with the world, knowing that thousands of women, men, and families might see themselves in her story. Why she waited so long? Fans immediately wondered, why wait until now? Why not act sooner? Her answer was raw: fear. Fear of what surgery would mean, fear of how the world would react, fear of losing the independence she worked so hard for. She was no longer just a private individual. She was a public figure, someone constantly scrutinized for how she dressed, how she spoke, who she loved. And yet, when her condition worsened, when the quiet warnings turned into urgent reality, she knew she couldn't run anymore. This wasn't just about her career, her platform, or her fame. It was about her life. The emotional buildup. In the weeks leading up to her announcement, those close to her noticed subtle changes. Her closest friends whispered she was quieter than usual. Her family said she started writing long, handwritten letters, something she hadn't done in years. And producers, still eager to invite her onto spin-off shows and reunion specials, noticed she kept declining with vague excuses. In truth, she was preparing herself mentally. Surgery isn't just about what happens on the operating table. It's about the courage to face the unknown. And for her, that meant mourning the life she had, while still clinging fiercely to the hope of what could be. The announcement that stunned fans. It was a simple video on Instagram. She appeared barefaced, her hair pulled back, no glamorous filter in sight. She sat on her couch with her dog beside her, took a deep breath, and spoke. "This isn't easy to share, but I want to be honest with you because you've been with me through so much already. I'm going to have surgery. Not the kind you think. This isn't about changing how I look. This is about saving my life and changing it." The video went viral within hours. Comments poured in. Fans called her brave. Others wept openly, recounting their own health battles. Suddenly, this wasn't a celebrity story. It was human, raw, and universally relatable. Bachelor Nation reacts. Former bachelorettes, bachelors, and contestants alike flooded her page. Some offered private messages, others shared their own experiences with health scares. The community, often torn apart by drama, feuds, and gossip, suddenly stood united in support of one of their own. One fellow alum posted, "When we sign up for this show, we think it's about love, but sometimes it's about finding the courage to live your truth. You're inspiring us all." Another wrote, "Surgery may be scary, but it's also a doorway to the rest of your life. You've got this." Her family's silent strength. While the public reacted loudly, behind the scenes her family rallied quietly. Her mother moved into her home temporarily, her siblings rotated visits, friends brought food, books, and laughter. What struck them most wasn't just her vulnerability, it was her resilience. Even in tears, even in fear, she found ways to smile, to joke, to remind everyone that this wasn't the end of her story, it was just the next chapter. The risks and the reality. Surgery, as her doctors explained, was no small feat. The procedure came with risks, serious ones, but so did avoiding it. It wasn't about vanity or convenience or even career. It was about survival. And that's what made her story so powerful, because in a world obsessed with filters and perfection, she was showing her fans the raw, terrifying, beautiful truth that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is choose to fight. The night before surgery. The eve of her surgery was both haunting and hopeful. She journaled until midnight, writing letters to herself, to her loved ones, even to her future self, imagining the woman she would be on the other side. She prayed, she cried, she even laughed at old episodes of The Bachelorette, joking about how trivial some of her past heartbreaks seemed compared to what she was about to face. And then she whispered a promise to herself. "When I wake up, it'll be the start of my second chance." The day arrived. Fans didn't know it yet, but her family huddled together in the waiting room while surgeons worked tirelessly. Hours passed, updates trickled in. Every minute felt like an eternity. And then finally, the doors opened, the words they longed to hear. She's stable, she made it through. Surgery was only the beginning. Recovery tested her in ways she never imagined. She had to learn patience, something she admitted she never excelled at. She had to accept help, to let others carry her when she couldn't stand on her own. And she had to embrace vulnerability, not as weakness, but as strength. Day by day, she healed, slowly, painfully, beautifully. Her message to the world. Weeks later, she appeared online again, this time softer but stronger. Her words carried weight, not just for fans, but for anyone who had ever faced their own battles. If you're struggling, if you're afraid, if you think you have to go through it alone, you don't. Ask for help, take the leap, choose yourself, because your life is worth it. Her story became more than entertainment news. It sparked conversations about health, stigma, and the pressures public figures face. It reminded viewers that behind every reality star is a real person with real battles. And perhaps most importantly, it showed that courage isn't about standing under bright lights with roses. It's about facing the darkest nights with hope. In the end, she didn't need a proposal, a fantasy suite, or a final rose ceremony to prove her worth. She gave herself the greatest gift of all, the chance to live fully, fearlessly, and authentically. And that, more than any TV finale, will be the chapter fans remember
The Bachelor franchise
forever.
has delivered roses, heartbreaks, and jaw-dropping twists for decades. But nothing could have prepared fans for the most shocking revelation yet. One of its most beloved Bachelorette stars stepping forward with a tearful confession. She is going under the knife for a life-changing surgery. Not a cosmetic tweak, not a publicity stunt. This is survival. And as the cameras fade and the bright gowns are tucked away, what remains is the story of a woman fighting not just for love, but for her life. When she first stepped out of the limousine on night one, viewers instantly saw her as radiant. She embodied the fairy tale, dressed in sequins, smiling nervously as the Bachelor offered his first words of the night. Millions of viewers leaned forward, captivated. Her season on The Bachelorette only cemented her place in fans' hearts. She wasn't just chasing romance, she was refreshingly real. She cried openly, laughed loudly, and made bold choices that sometimes left producers scrambling. But little did fans know, during those candlelit dinners and fantasy suite moments, she was quietly ignoring the signs. Fatigue that no amount of makeup could hide. Chest pains she dismissed as stress. Nights where she lay awake, silently wondering if something was wrong. The cameras captured a woman in love. But off-screen, a woman in pain was forming. After the season wrapped and her Instagram followers skyrocketed, she returned to real life. Photo shoots, podcasts, reunion specials, it was all there. But in between appearances, doctor visits filled her calendar. It started with a routine checkup. Nothing major, just a precaution. But then came the tests, then the phone call. "We need you to come back in." The words every patient dreads. After weeks of uncertainty, she finally sat across from her doctor. And in that quiet room where the walls felt like they were closing in, she learned the truth. Her condition wasn't one she could push aside. It wasn't a temporary ache. It was something that could progress, something that could steal the very future she dreamed of. The solution was clear. Surgery. Not someday, not eventually. Soon. The question fans asked immediately, why not sooner? The answer was complicated. Fear, yes, but also pressure. On reality TV, everything is curated. Perfect smiles, perfect outfits, perfect storylines. She didn't want to be the sick one, the contestant whose story was overshadowed by pity. She wanted to be seen as strong, independent, desirable. She worried about what sponsors would think. She worried about whether people would still see her as the bubbly lead they fell in love with. And most of all, she worried about her own future. What if she went through surgery and came out changed, broken, or unable to continue the life she had built? So she smiled for cameras, she said yes to interviews, and all the while her body was whispering, then shouting, "You can't ignore this forever." Part 6. The tearful revelation. Finally, she could no longer keep it inside. She posted the video that stopped Bachelor Nation in its tracks. No makeup, no glam lighting, just her sitting cross-legged with her dog at her side. Her voice trembled but never broke. This isn't about vanity. This isn't about image. This is about survival. I'm going in for surgery and I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I can't keep hiding it. Within minutes, the video spread across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. News outlets picked it up, and Bachelor Nation, usually divided by drama, united in shock and support. She scrolled through fan messages, thousands of strangers telling her they were praying, sending love, sharing their own stories of surgery and survival. She cried quietly, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Her family gathered in her living room. They ate takeout Chinese food, laughed about old memories, and pretended everything was normal. But when she went to bed, she opened her journal and wrote, "If tomorrow doesn't go the way I hope, at least I know I lived bravely. At least I loved deeply. At least I told the truth." The next morning, cameras didn't roll. This wasn't for entertainment. This was real life. Her family held hands in the waiting room, whispering prayers and clinging to updates from nurses. Hours passed, every second stretched into an eternity. Finally, the surgeon appeared, tired but smiling. "She's stable." It was successful. Relief washed over the room. Tears flowed freely, and just like that, a new chapter began. Surgery wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. The first days were brutal. Pain, fatigue, frustration. She cried when she couldn't get out of bed without help. She hated being vulnerable. She hated feeling weak. She became her own fiercest advocate. In those quiet weeks, she realized something profound. Recovery isn't just about the body, it's about the spirit. As she updated her journey on social media, the response was overwhelming. Bachelor alums flooded her comments. Some shared their own hidden battles, autoimmune diseases, mental health struggles, family losses. Fans told her she gave them courage to finally schedule their own overdue doctor visits. Her story wasn't just entertainment anymore, it was advocacy. It was a call to action. Looking back on her time on The Bachelorette, she saw things differently now. The fights that seemed monumental, trivial. The heartbreak that left her sobbing on national TV, fleeting. The real Rose, she realized, was choosing herself, choosing health, choosing life. It made her laugh, even in pain. "If only I had known," she joked, "the fantasy suite doesn't matter nearly as much as finding the right surgeon." Part 10. The future no one predicted. Now, months after surgery, she's looking ahead. She's not rushing back into dating shows. She's not planning another reality spinoff. Instead, she's focusing on advocacy, partnering with health organizations, speaking at events, using her platform to raise awareness. Love will come, she believes, but for now, she's focused on the greatest love story of all, loving herself enough to fight for her future. In the glittering world of the Bachelor franchise, roses symbolize love, acceptance, hope. But for this star, the ultimate rose was the one she gave herself, the decision to fight, to endure, to heal. Her surgery wasn't the end of her journey. It was the rebirth of it. And as she walks forward, scarred, stronger, and more radiant than ever, she carries not just her story, but the stories of everyone who saw themselves in her courage.